With Joseph Ochieno in Kampala. He's an East Africa political analyst. Joseph, welcome and thanks for being with us. So, firstly, what are your fears for those people, hundreds of thousands of people in Fasher now under RSF rule?
It is an extraordinary start, considering how long this was taken, but also how the two parties had initially been at a stalemate. And now that one side takes over, and on this occasion, the governing side seems to do the right thing by opting to withdraw. If part of that withdrawal is what others would call defeat, I think maybe it's a better one because the alternative was cunning. But clearly, if you consider the manner in which people have suffered in this country, the manner in which people have suffered, particularly in this city, whatever is happening at the moment, it appears as if the warring parties are not really very much interested in the livelihood of the citizens, indeed lives, but rather, occupying and capturing territory by any means necessary. That's why I think the African Union is right in terms of its tones that, look, war crimes are being committed here, crimes against humanity is being committed here, and that I think we need to be able to see and hear louder and harder messages that the implications for, penalties post this war, whichever way it goes.
And there's been talk of, this leading to a turning point, Joseph, in the war. I mean, what do you expect will happen now that the RSF has control of all 5 state capitals in Darfur? What happens next?
I think it's very difficult to tell, but of course, the nuances suggest that they seem to have an upper hand. And in any case, they're seemingly rather decisive. It's extraordinary that the government side seems to have lost territory rather fast, and seems by implication that although I'm crediting them with the decision to pull back in the name of human, in the name of saving lives, it seems to be the case that it's actually had a life at the battles. Whatever happens and whatever the outcomes, I think that even if the RSU eventually takes over full control of Sudan, that it will be able to see the end of this conflict. It's very unfortunate for a country like Sudan that this is the kind of conversation we'll be having, but particularly that this is the kind of a conflict that we'll be seeing. Because in any case, regardless of whichever way it ends, I don't think we'll have been seeing the end of the whole thing in this country at all. Finally, of course, if we consider the conflicts and the instabilities around all the neighboring countries to the Sudan, it's a very worrying situation, very worrying situation for the sub-region, very worrying situation for Africa, and I think it's very, very worrying situation considering the fact that I think the international community is now rather concerned about the big issues that Trumps are talking trade rather than conflicts, peace and stability on particularly this continent.
Joseph Ochieno, thank you so much for your time with us here on TRT World.